What's up, everybody? This is Trash Mob Plays, coming to you live from my basement with Trash Talk Weekly podcast with the Trash Mob. I'm Dan Vader.
Rocket.
Ateam.
We are the Trash Mob. So this is our first podcast, and we figured we would just introduce ourselves, talk a little gaming news, and some opinions, because it's mostly just going to be talking out of our ass. So I'm Dan Vader. We recorded this in my basement. We're gonna pretty much play through some cool new games, mostly some old favorites. We don't have a lot of disposable income, so this is not going to be like every single game that comes out, but we're going to find a couple that we think you guys are going to enjoy. Anything to add?
I like Dan. He's a good guy. Dan is great.
Super. So, I mean, a little bit about us. I've been playing video games for, I don't know, 30 years probably. Atari 2600.
I'd say you're a veteran.
I know. OG as fuck. So, yeah, I mean, playing on Atari, Nintendos. That was the deal. Switched to Xbox on the old original Xbox. And just got a Wii U. One game for it, so I'm going to have all the hot breaking Wii U news.
It's a good game, though. I'm excited. I feel like we should be just cancel the podcast and play Mario Maker. It's a blast.
Yeah, it's super addicting. Dan Vader 228 on Xbox Live, so I'm going to be there shortly when Division comes out. We're going to probably stream some of that.
I can't wait.
I don't know. Rocket, tell us about yourself.
Rocket Man. I've been playing video games I was in diapers when I got my Nintendo, so I have owned every system that's come out except for PlayStation 4. I am not a PlayStation fan at the moment. You'll come to know that. But anything else, I'm down to give it a shot. I think I've owned every single Nintendo console that's come out twice. I tend to buy them super early. No games come out, I sell them, and then when there's good games come out, I go back and buy it again. So it's safe to say I spend lots of money on video games. I've played lots of different games. Right now, I'm doing the same thing as Dan, playing Wii U, 3DS quite a bit, just getting ready to finish Link Between Worlds, and that's about it.
A-Team over you, brother.
Hey, guys. I'm Ateam. I like playing video games, too. They're fun. I've been playing on video games for a while, too. Pretty much my whole life. I like open world games, but there's really no game that I don't like, although I can't stand that Final Fantasy shit, man. That stuff's hard. And like the turn-based combat and all that, I don't do that. So I'm not going to be able to comment on a whole lot of that stuff. My gamer tag on Xbox Live is Team Africa, and I like to play Destiny, and I like to play Grand Theft Auto, pretty much anything, and old games too. Like I like Perfect Dark, things like that. You know, Perfect Dark's a lot of fun.
All about the arcade games.
Yeah, the old. I like little simple games or whatever, but I like to keep up on gaming news too or whatever. But I just like to have fun, and video games are fun, and it's really I like playing it with my buddies too. So that's the whole point. Of this podcast and these video games that we play is to enjoy yourself and play it with friends. So that's a little bit about me.
So Rocket, we talked about this the other day a little bit, coming up with ideas of kind of how to introduce ourselves. What would you say is your favorite game of all time? Not the best, not the one you played the most, but like if you had to narrow it down, and that's hard.
So if there was
your favorite,
if there was a package to show up at my house tomorrow, and it was one game inside of the box,
I would call the police.
Because
if the package shows up and I didn't order it, I'd be freaked out.
So, and that's like the only game that you're going to get for the rest of your life, and that's it. When I open that box, I would want to see Final Fantasy IX.
Okay.
Did you say that just to spite how much I hate Final Fantasy?
Absolutely not.
Oh my gosh. Well, you guys are going to get a lot of different perspectives, that's for sure.
We're going to talk about Final Fantasy IX, I think, probably in the next podcast. There's some news that came out about that. So you're going to have to win me over.
So
I don't see why you shouldn't. I'd be getting into that.
So Final Fantasy IX, for anybody who hasn't played it, was obviously the 9th game in the series. So
what?
There was a ton of content.
You had to know
out.
math to really enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
You had to understand numbers.
Got it. That's the issue.
Numbers like there were 4 discs that you had to go through to get to the end on PlayStation 1.
Ugh.
So if that tells you anything about, the commitment it took to get through that game. But really, it was easy. I spent probably 70 or 80 hours going through that game and would not trade a single second. I've been through the game 3 times, I think, from beginning to end in my life since it came out, since I was little. And we're going to talk about it later. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go ahead and get it on the App Store and go back through it again because I have it on my phone now. So
That'd be cool.
If there was one game, it would probably be Final Fantasy for me. What about you?
So there's pros and cons, and I'm always more comfortable with like a top 3, top 5 scenario. But I was thinking about it the other day, and if I had to say that it wouldn't be like a package on the doorstep and all that, because to me the enjoyment I got from a game was like when I was playing it. You know what I mean? Those times that I had playing it, that exact moment, and I don't feel like if I'd be able to recreate it again if it showed up on the doorstep, like you said, which I don't need to because I have the game. WWF No Mercy.
Man, that's not what I would have guessed.
I know. I had to think about it.
Not what I would have guessed.
Like Knights of the Old Republic, probably for a long time I would have said it was my favorite game. It's a phenomenal story.
I was going to go
The
Fallout
Star
3
Wars,
for you.
Fallout 3 is another one. So yeah, if you're looking at top 3, top 5 scenario, but I started thinking about it, and that was the game that I had the most fun playing. And I had my Nintendo 64. I bought it when I was like 16 or 17 or whatever, when I first started working, and I never got into like I'd grown past like Mario and Zelda and all that stuff. So the games I had for the 64 were shit like GoldenEye and Perfect Dark and all that, kind of more gaming type games. And I had the whole series of those THQ wrestling games. They had a couple WCWs,
WCW versus NWO, Revenge.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
I had the whole series of it. And the last one that they released was WWF No Mercy. And the reason that sticks out is because that's the one that my roommates and I obsessed over at college. And later when we had our apartment and stuff, it was the first time that I kind of got that there's like a meta game with a game. And that's more of a hot topic now, I think, because it's, multiplayer online type stuff has like a meta game. For WWF No Mercy, there was a meta game in my apartment. And it was outmatching and outsmarting the people in that apartment at that game. And there was all different strategies and methods of doing it. Because if you were really good at that game and practiced at that game, you could get in the ring with somebody and they could never touch you the whole game.
Oh, I'm aware.
Because
I'm aware of that because I hated that game.
You would build all your move sets to complement, what you were doing, and it was all, slow strategy. Honestly, for a wrestling game, is hitting this combo followed by this combo by this combo. Have a whole 30 minutes of just beating the living shit out of somebody and them not ever touching you, and then my roommates knowing to do that to me. So it was this who's going to jump first and who's going to make a mistake first and seizing on that and all the different strategies. My roommate, Paul, was the dirtiest player in the game.
He was Ric Flair?
Like the nature boy of our group. And he realized that you could crank your dude's weight up to like 650 pounds, Yokozuna style, and you couldn't do most of your moves. Because you wouldn't be able to pick them up. You wouldn't be able to do this, that, or the other. So he knew to complement his moveset was basically to stop me from being able to do my moves. And so then I had to rethink my whole strategy, rebuild my characters to deal with this 600-pound behemoth, which he looked like a skinny regular dude on the game, but you just could tweak the settings and shit. And then he'd throw, like, the next day I'd get on and he'd be a cruiserweight all of a sudden. And he'd be flipping all over the ropes. I'd have to change my strategy again. So I had multiple characters depending on what my dirty roommates were going to do. And so that was why that game to me is my favorite, because there was this whole game outside of it, and this is probably 6-7 years after the game had really come out. It was probably 2000, because it was WrestleMania 2000, and that was the first WWF game, and then they did No Mercy after that. So, probably a couple years later, but just this big strategy of like the game and then what you make of the game and how you do the game. We did the same with GoldenEye. It was basically those two games that we switched off on. And GoldenEye had its own, like, we had house rules, one hit kills.
No odd job.
No, you can do whatever you want, but I'm gonna be Jaws. So
Jaws is the worst, man. That's the biggest target that there was. This Paul guy sounds like a real asshole, though. Yeah. I got to say that. I want to play a game to have fun.
No, man, this was life and death.
Strategy,
life
man.
and death.
Oh man,
that's why we did Bond single one hit kill, not man with the golden gun mode, but just auto rifles, one hit. So one bullet in the toe and you're dead.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter if you were odd job or not. I could shoot you in the finger and you'd be fucking dead. But we would do proximity mines and for like till 20 kills. But when you killed yourself with a proximity mine, it deducted from your point total. So we would each have like 150 kills, but neither one of us would have hit the 20 kill mark because we killed each other so much. Because you would just throw like 3 proximity mines at every spawn, and the online multiplayer is fun now and reminiscent of a lot of that. But like having the ability to see what your dirty friend is doing on the screen with you,
screen watching,
and then how that's going to affect what you're doing. Like I'd see him goofing with his character, so I would know what he was going to do, and you can't do that online. But I think if I again, because it was the time and when you're playing it and who you're playing it with and how you're playing it, the three of us could play No Mercy now. It would be a trash fire because no one would be able to figure out any of the moves and all that.
No way.
But at the time, like that was the pinnacle of fun.
You make it sound like I want to play it.
But you're familiar with the games, but just hated them.
I think you just talked for like 5 minutes about a wrestling game.
Yes, dude.
I have no idea anything that you were talking about.
I know.
Not one thing.
I know.
I have never played a wrestling game in my life. Never watched wrestling.
And that's the thing. You didn't even have to because it was just understanding the mechanics of like, this is a front grab, and from a front grab I can do this move. And there's a strong front and there's a weak front. And then once you grab them, you can hit this combination of buttons and it does this move. And then it's about where you set them up on the mat. You're faced at their legs. Now you need a submission move for the legs, and you can build your entire arsenal of like 200 different moves and just create this masterpiece of a character and then have to, again, accommodate all the different play styles of people you're going to play against. This is bloodthirsty maniacs playing you on this game. That was just fun, man. It was so fun. And you didn't, like, people would come over and play it. Like, you didn't have to know how to do wrestling. Now, the wrestling games, it's a lot of spam moves.
Well, it's more of a simulation now. That was more arcade style back then.
Yeah, it was definitely more.
And
I just felt like it was very strategic, everything about it. Or maybe it was just the way we played. You could probably just beat it, with your fists and do just as well. But because of the way we kind of structured our environment, like, you had to think your way through it. And that's why you just make a game whatever you want it to be.
He just doesn't smell. Rocket just doesn't smell what you're cooking.
No.
That's all it is, really.
Very clear.
He didn't eat his vitamins and drink his milk today. Or else he would, brother.
Say his prayers. And,
I have no idea what you guys are doing.
So
we got
Ateam. What do you say if you had to pick? I know we took up a bunch of time.
I'll be pretty quick about it. This is such a hard question for me, man. I have so many excellent memories of like time periods. Like when I was younger, man, my game was Sonic, dude. Sonic. All I ever played was Sonic. But if I had to pick one, man, I'd have to go Grand Theft Auto 3. That game blew my mind. I remember that I got for my birthday, I got Tony Hawk 3, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, which is an excellent game. 10 out of 10. GameSpot rated it. One of the first 10 out of 10s that they did. And what an amazing game. And I had a buddy at school, and he was like, man, I really wanted to play that game. Do you want to trade me? And I'm like, yeah, man. Well, what do you got? And he's like, I have this game called Grand Theft Auto 3. And I'm like, yeah, all right, I guess. Thinking, like, maybe I'll never get my game back. Like, man, I hope I get Tony Hawk back because this guy's trying to mess with me, right?
Right.
Take the game home, play it with a couple buddies, and I'm just blown away that I can just do whatever I want in this city. I can get into any car that I want. It's the first game, and I'm an ADD gamer, so I don't know if there's any other ADD gamers out there, but I got to have things in short bursts. Like, raiding in Destiny takes a lot of my attention, But that's the first game that I ever hit 100% in. I took the time. I spent hours and hours. I could drive around that city. What's the city called? Liberty City, right? Yeah. Liberty City better than my own town that I live in. I know that town better than I did the other one. So, and then obviously Destiny, I just got done playing for a year and a half, and I'm still playing it, just not as often as I was. I'm really excited for some new games coming out, but I'd have to say one game that I would have to say is my favorite would be Grand Theft Auto 3. Just mind-blowing.
To hear that you 100%ed a game, like, that's
shocking, right? I just blown. I mean, it's just like it's like a focus that just I didn't know I had in me, right?
Yeah, well then that makes sense that like to find something that like would be that.
I'm just discovering stuff. I mean, I had to get the secret packages. I had to pick up all the taxis on the taxi rides. I played through it over and over. Vice City, San Andreas was great. GTA 4 wasn't really into. GTA 5 was good, but nothing recaptured that, feeling of GTA 3 for the first time and playing through that game. And, I mean, it really did. It revolutionized games for a long time. I mean, we've got a lot of games that are coming out still that still model that Grand Theft Auto 3 that, they weren't the first to do it. There was another, I think there was a game on the Nintendo 64 that was made. I can't think of what the name of it is off the top of my head right now, but I'll just scream it out later during the podcast. As soon as I think I'm going to be like, oh, no, but it wasn't the first, but in my opinion, it definitely did it the best.
All right, so we got Final Fantasy IX.
WWF No Mercy. And
Did you forget? It's been 5 minutes.
I'll only call it WWF No Mercy because that's what's on the label.
Yeah.
That's not politically.
It wasn't no WWE. Correct. It was a World Wildlife Fund, No Mercy.
World Wildlife Fund.
A bunch of pandas in the ring.
It was zoo animals fighting and giving each other pile drivers.
I'm so confused. Whatever a pile driver is. Okay, so we got Final Fantasy IX, WWF No Mercy, and Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yeah.
So if anybody is watching any of our videos and any of our streams or listening to any of our podcasts, we're just going to say it now that those are our top 3 recommendations for games for you to play. Yeah. Because they were our favorites.
I mean, if you haven't, yeah.
No, I mean, that's a different qualification. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's why I said, like, what's your favorite game? Because probably nobody else would like, certain games. A-Team's never going to play Final Fantasy 9 or 9.5 or any of them. That's never going to happen. So you wouldn't recommend that to him. So, yeah, to the listeners or the viewers, definitely would be more modern games or more, maybe user-friendly games like Fallout or something like that.
Okay, so the qualifier was the best
favorite,
game
your favorite.
For you as an individual.
Just your favorite.
I mean, it kind of defines each one of us.
Because it could have been...
Dan's a wrestling fool, you know what I mean? You like, swords and Fantasyland and all that. And I'm from the streets, man.
Right.
I don't know if that... You can quantify your persona inside of a video game.
Straight gangster.
Okay. So
anyway,
let's go ahead and move us along.
So we're going to jump into Rocket segment. This is the weekly news. But we're probably going to diverge a little bit because this first topic is heavy as fuck.
So
hold on. Should we have theme music for this part? Rocket news.
Or like a sound effect of like
Rocket news. Yeah, like a radio station. Oh, there you go.
This just in.
Oh yeah,
the news for you.
It's a telegraph. Right in Morse code. Yeah.
So I've got a couple different sections that I want to talk about, but I first want to start with Nintendo. So there's always a ton of news about the crazy things that they're doing over in Japan that are getting translated by Reggie over here in the United States with them moving as a company. But I wanted to make sure that we, at least for the first segment, talk about like the overarching news as far as it relates to Nintendo, because Nintendo always has tons and tons of small stuff going on, but there are some huge changes happening over in Japan, and they're changing their entire business model.
They need to. I don't know if you know what I mean, like Rant City, but like I think for sure I enjoy the shit out of Super Mario Maker, but that's the only redeeming quality of the Wii U.
We're not making assumptions yet.
Assumptions.
Let's
It's been out long enough.
Hey.
I know.
Hey,
My review 1.5 years later.
Worst system ever.
is
We
not
said
the
this shit wasn't going to be up to date or timely.
Whoa. Wait,
Okay. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
I don't know about worst system ever, but
No.
So
That was satire. That was all satire.
spell it.
Spell satire?
Anyways,
S-I
Tired.
tire.
that's sitar.
Spell Fosace.
So Nintendo is branching out and doing some new licensing for their original IP. So things like the picture that I've set in front of you guys. There's a picture of
For the listeners at home.
a picture of a, I think it's Colgate maybe.
Man, I couldn't be more confused. You got a picture of a toothbrush in front of me here.
Right. So it's a Colgate or Arm & Hammer Super Mario spin brush. So this was one thing that the new president Tatsumi Kimishima, Jesus.
Oh, you nailed that.
This is why it's your segment, bro.
Listen, Tatsumi Kimishima
Yep.
has taken over control of the empire, as it were, and he's got some ideas for the new direction for Nintendo as a whole. And I'm not saying that the toothbrush is at the middle of their new strategy, but
It is dope.
Definitely newsworthy.
It's definitely newsworthy.
Does this star button light up? Because I'm in.
I think, it does, and I want to say that it makes sound.
And is
It doesn't just vibrate. I think it makes
Woohoo!
Mario like
Here we go!
Mario noises while you're brushing your teeth. So for what they're
does it make like the Firefly or spit sound when you spit the toothpaste out? Plink, plink.
it needs to have
I
like
can't do sound.
I need a Mario sync, like a whole setup. It can't just be a toothbrush.
And it makes like the warp zone noise. When
Yes, when you turn the water
goes in it.
on and off.
I'm in. No, I dig this next sentence. Converse Mario shoes.
So what? They just had a press conference not too long after Kimishima took over, and he's saying that due to the changes in the industry, the proportion of young consumers who are first experiencing games on our systems has been falling. We want to have everyone become familiar with our IP by reaching as many people as possible from an early age within their daily lives. So people aren't experiencing Nintendo for the first time in their games anymore.
True.
So, like, remember, what's the first thing that you saw for Nintendo? It was either an advertisement for a game or you sat down and played a Nintendo game.
Yeah, somebody had it at their house, and I was Luigi, and it was sick.
Exactly. That's how you interacted with Nintendo. So, I think where Nintendo's issue is coming up now is that the children these days are not going out and buying video games to experience Nintendo.
Yeah, this is true. My little nephew is obsessed with Mario. I don't know that they have a system at home, but he's got Mario pajamas, toys, Mario Kart, little remote control cars that actually drive on the wall. It's pretty sweet.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
They drive. We did it at her mom's house because they got really high ceilings like we do. You can race them on the wall. And I'm like, what if you painted like a track and you could try to keep them on little star and turtle shells and stuff. So obsessed though. Mario is like his life, and they have little toys and figures, and like that's his whole deal. They play Mario Kart, I think, at like their grandma's house. They got an old Wii or whatever, so they're into it. But yeah, like I can't imagine he's ever played a platform version of the game.
Exactly. I mean, that's how kids are interacting with Nintendo now. It's not through their original IP games.
Right.
So I think that this picture that I have for you guys of the toothbrush is going to quantify Nintendo's new strategy moving forward. I know that we're going to talk some about like the hardware and things that they have going on and here in the future, but from what I've been seeing and what they've been talking about, they are branching out to like new forms of media as well. So I know that they're working on a licensing deal with Universal to have like a entire section, like a Nintendo Land section at Universal Studios.
That's cool.
So you could walk down, the street at Universal and, there's all the costumes, characters running around, and you can experience, like running through a Mario level at, full size. So
I'm with that. I mean, they did it up for that Harry Potter land. I don't know if you guys have been to Orlando and seen the Harry Potter, but that shit was amazing. So if it's
Right.
the same folks planning this Nintendo land deal, it's going to be really, really cool.
right. Well, another thing that they're talking about is making movies. Has there ever been a Nintendo themed movie?
Well,
Well,
not
yeah.
that we should ever speak of.
Yeah. The movie that shall not be named.
Mario Brothers with Bob Hoskins
Yeah.
was a Nintendo property.
You can't act like that didn't happen, because it did.
I kind of was trying to act like it didn't happen.
Remember
I said
Yoshi?
that we
Yoshi
weren't
was like a
gonna-
raptor or something. It was like, I thought I was watching Jurassic World when I was flipping through the channels.
Yeah,
It was creepy. But, I mean, to be fair, like, the only reason that this could continue to be a topic for years and years and years is because this is a Japanese company. Had this been an American company, there would have been no Mario games probably 20 years ago, and it would have been nothing but cartoons and toothbrushes and all that shit from the jump. They would have just said, oh, there's way more money in just slapping this dude on everything and making all the money that way and not sinking any amount of money into hardware development, because they have to essentially build a whole video game system around releasing a game for this character. Like, that's insane.
I would argue
But we
that
love it.
Yeah.
Like a kid, they would spend money hand over fist to just have pajamas and bed sheets and posters and toys and stuff like we would for any of our American properties, Ninja Turtles and stuff. Like, you didn't have to do anything with that, and you would have still made a fortune. So the fact that they're just now 30 years later, like, you know what? Let's slap Mario on some shit and sell it to these kids. Like,
Well,
that's crazy.
and I can tell you why that they're looking to monetize all of their IP that's already existing.
Because they need money and they're broke.
Because creating a hardware system just to distribute this is an insane idea.
So, in terms of business performance, for the 9-month period ending December 31st for 2015, their revenue declined 3.9%, while profit slumped by like 36.5%.
Dang.
Can you imagine what that does to a company as far as like making money? And you got to think, how many different things are they working on, as far as video games go? Because they have both a handheld market and a home-based market. So another thing that I wanted to talk about as far as Nintendo for tonight was their plans for the future. So they're saying, that they know that the Wii U and the 3DS are pretty much at the end of their lives, both of them.
The Wii U just started.
Wii U
been
did
a
not
year,
just
so-
start.
I mean, I can't get into the future without looking at the mistakes of the past in a way, because we should not be talking about a Legend of Zelda game at the end of the console's life cycle. Mm-hmm. That should have been a launch game, as and I'm going to be ignorant on the topic because you don't have a lot of games for the Wii U. I know there are Mario Brother games out there that exist, but never played them. But you should have had lined up Mario, Star Fox, Donkey Kong, Legend of Zelda, Metroid, all ready to launch, honestly, in the first 6 months, because you're competing with the big boys and you're not supporting any of the popular third-party, games. So that we're like, oh, maybe there'll be a Star Fox game this year is lunacy, because that should have been from the jump.
It was almost 2 years later.
I know. It's crazy.
But they haven't made a Star Wars game since what? GameCube? Or Star Wars, Star Fox game since like the GameCube, right?
I know.
Like, they skip generations on this. My issue
insane.
with Nintendo right now is that some of it's a little laziness, in my opinion. Like, everybody's already making their own Mario levels, so let's just make it so they're doing it on our stuff, right? The other part of it is how far behind they are in things. And, from what I see with the kids these days, it's so much easier for them to pick up an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller and play their Call of Duties or whatever games they're allowed to play anymore. And with Nintendo, you got to buy a separate Nintendo system, and you don't get the Call of Duties. You don't get those games that those kids are playing now. And a lot of the reasons is because Nintendo's so far behind with a lot of stuff that they do. Like, we just got HD Mario this generation. Right. Like, why is that?
I mean, they're just doing their own thing, which...
But how are they still around and Sega's not? Sega had that Dreamcast, you know what I mean? And, like, we've still got Nintendo, and I know Mario's huge and all that.
Yeah.
But, like, these last two consoles, and Wii sold a ton. But Wii was a very niche project, you know?
My bad.
That's all right. Hey, that's where we cut in. What was that, the hour mark?
Well, it was actually time to take out the trash.
Oh.
Maybe that should be a new segment. It's time to take out the trash, son. And then
A-Team's taking out the trash right now with this Nintendo Wii U. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just throw this shit in the trash. No, I mean, I'm so torn on this because 100%, like, I respect doing something different because Microsoft and PlayStation, you know, they're doing their own deal and they're sort of viewed as equals. It's just whichever one you sort of chose is the one you stick with. Nintendo can kind of appeal to either side of that equation because they're their own thing. They're not competing with
It's a secondary console to go along with your other console that you have, whether you've picked Xbox or PlayStation. Some people that have a lot of money can do all three, I guess, or whatever. But, like, we're still doing friend codes on the Wii U.
Oh, God,
like, why are we doing that? Why have we not gotten the technology up to the point where we can't just have a screen name?
Yeah.
They do have a Nintendo ID. I do have Dan on my friends list. It does tell me.
I didn't have to put in a 16-digit code. Like, I just email
It does tell me when he's online. It does not tell me fancy things like what game he's playing, what achievements he has, or anything like that. But I will tell you that those things are coming for Nintendo because they see that this is the way of things.
How did they not see that during
5
last
years,
gen?
10 years too late, Xbox Live accounts have been a thing for...
I'm just saying, you're getting that foothold in, and Nintendo knows that better than any other company. Nintendo got their foothold in against Sega, and they did it better than anybody else. But then it kept going, and it kept going. And I think for years, a lot of analysts were projecting that we were going to start seeing Mario on other systems, just because they were going to go the way of Sega Genesis. And me personally, I was hoping for it. Because, in my opinion, Nintendo's fallen behind, and I know not everybody agrees with me on that, but I would love to be able to play my Mario games and not have to buy a console to do that. And eventually it just gets to the point where it's not a good investment for me.
I should have live streamed me transferring my Virtual Console downloads from my Wii to my Wii U.
Why is that such a nightmare?
It took me the entire night. I didn't play any games. That was all I did was and it was like 8 games. But I had to download. Oh my god, it was amazing.
I don't want to bash Nintendo. I want them to do well. I really do. I don't want to sit here and just bash Nintendo. But I mean, if anybody out there feels the same way that we do, I mean, we've got to do something about it. We've got to help talk to Nintendo or do something or whatever. Start a petition. I don't know what people do on the internet these days. But...
I mean, it's just got to be a total change, and we'll probably hit on a lot of these rumors. But again, that doesn't mean shit. And some of them are contradictory, and some of them are totally out of left field with no explanation, so you don't really know what they're doing. I honestly think had they done a little standalone console, even with a controller, and it would have been $200 like the Wii was, and you didn't have to dick with this stupid toy iPad thing, and you could have had an app on your phone. I could do Mario Maker on my phone or my iPad and have it sync up with the shit. Everybody has a tablet or a smartphone now. And if you don't, go get one. You're paying $100-something for this goddamn thing anyway.
Yeah.
So why not just have a cheap console just for the Virtual Console, just for the couple of cool new games, because you want to play the new Mario, you want to play the new Zelda, and not dick with this tablet thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that the 2-console deal worked last gen with the Wii because it was so cheap.
I had a Wii, and I enjoyed my Wii, and I played my Wii, and I never got rid of my Wii. I've since gotten rid of my Wii U just because I couldn't. And of course, I got rid of it right before Mario Maker came out, which is the one game that I probably would play. But I tried Super Mario 3D World. It was a great game, but it just didn't compare to what else I was playing on the Xbox. As far as playing with other people, the interaction, it's super simple. But kids aren't getting that exposure. We grew up with that. We grew up with the simple Mario games to kind of lead us into, Contra and lead us into Final Fantasy. Well, I never played that, but that was all or No Mercy or whatever. We had that basis to play and learn games. Kids aren't doing that these days. They're not playing Mario first. They're playing all these Xbox and PlayStation games that they have.
Yeah, younger than we were when we were trying to wrap our brains around World 1-1. Like, These dudes are creating mods on GTA 5 and shit.
Or Minecraft. I mean, Minecraft is more accessible
lie.
now. You know what I mean? And kids go nuts over Minecraft. I mean, it still has the sustainability, and I love that we're getting ready to talk about the Nintendo finally pulled its head out of its ass, and they're going to start doing mobile games, because that's something I should have been able to play Mario 3 on my cell phone years ago.
No.
What do you mean no?
Nah.
All right.
Okay,
so continue on.
So for the Nintendo consoles that have come out from now all the way back through the NES, so starting with the Wii U, what was the one thing that makes the Wii U different than the other consoles?
HD.
You mean better?
No.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
What-
what do you mean different? Yeah.
What is
The
unique
peripheral?
to... Okay.
And the Wii as well, the peripheral.
Okay, so with the Wii U, the thing that made it unique was the fact that it had a second screen that was integrated with the console, right?
Okay.
So with the Wii U and second screen experience, it was out before Microsoft Glass, right?
Okay.
Microsoft Glass came afterwards. It came out before PlayStation 4 allowed you to use your, what the hell was it called?
PlayStation View.
Vita.
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 Vita?
The thing with the weird braille nipples on the back of it. The Vita.
I don't know. I'm not a
I
PlayStation
haven't
guy.
molested one lately.
No, well, for real though, the PlayStation Vita or whatever it was.
Because you can play games from your console onto the Vita correctly? Yeah.
Yes. But it also had like that second screen experience where you would be able to do something different on the Vita as what was going on the console itself.
Yes.
And Smart Glass never had that capability. We haven't been able to do that on Smart Glass. It's just it's like an extra controller, really.
Yeah, just text people on there.
Yeah.
So, as far as that was the big thing when it came out, and that's why everyone emulated Nintendo. Nintendo did it first. How about the Wii? What happened with the Wii? What was unique about the Wii?
The peripherals.
So it was the way that you interacted and the experience that you had with that console.
True.
Nintendo did it first. Motion control gaming. And it was fairly accurate.
Yeah.
From the start, it was decently accurate, and it only got better as, the time went on and they continued to refine it with like Motion Plus and all that stuff.
True.
So, I mean, you had like mock surgery games that came out that you use motion control with. So, what do they have for, the Xbox?
They have the Kinect, and then PlayStation has the Move.
Okay, so...
The little flashlights that you use.
You can become the Flesh Prince of Bel-Air.
So, how well does the Kinect work?
I don't even have one.
I mean, the new Kinect's alright, I guess, but I mainly just use it to say, Xbox on, and then it turns on that's cool. Turns on all my stuff for me.
So, the Microsoft got the Kinect, which has tons of applications outside of gaming. But I think we were just watching a video earlier where one of the top 5 worst games of all time was because of the Kinect.
That was funny.
Because it doesn't work. It doesn't work for shit.
No.
And it never has.
What game is that?
That's the Battle Tank reboot, the Steel Battalion.
I kind of want to play that. We should play that. That'd be a good trash game to play.
Oh,
dear God. There are
God.
some classics on there.
Yeah.
Right. So, but then think,
But I mean, it was for sure ahead of its time, and it was, everybody wanted it. Like, everybody had to have a Wii.
The Wii, yeah.
The bomb. It was the coolest thing, and even just like that console could have just had Wii Sports and like a couple of Wii based games without any major titles, and people would have bought the shit out of it. Like, I mean, obviously Zelda was just a port, but
it hadn't been really done before. You
Right.
know, that motion controlling hadn't been done before, and everybody wanted it. And what helped the hype also was the shortages. I remember seeing one in the at Kmart. I saw one at Kmart because nobody goes to Kmart.
True.
And I walked in at Kmart and I saw one, and I knew I had to buy one right then. Like, I just had to buy it because this was something that was like, I heard so much about. They were sold out everywhere. You couldn't get one, and I was like, I got to get this. And I played it, and I had a lot of fun with it. But I mean, it got kind of old after a while when I had to play Zelda and swipe things around and all that. I'm not looking for that kind of stuff, But they definitely got me in the door. You know, I would make the argument with the Wii U that yeah, the technology is newer, but like the Xbox 360 Smart Glass was out the same gen that the Wii was. So I mean, the technology was already there, and I would compare it a lot to mobile gaming too. You know, as far as iPhones and things like that. I don't know how many people really. My issue with the Wii U is that, like, am I supposed to look at the TV or am I supposed to look at the gamepad? And I feel bad if I look at the gamepad because I'm wasting this giant TV that I have right in front of me, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know.
And you would probably be able to speak a little bit more about how well does that actually function in most games. I've only played that. I played Mario Party, which, you know, it has
cool.
some functionality in Mario Party that's unique to using it as a controller. I don't really know. Like, are there games that are like sick to use this thing and it's just
besides first party games, really? I guess.
well, and that's fine.
I mean,
but if you really use the shit out of it, because no one's going to develop a Call of Duty that uses this goddamn controller.
they tried. They all tried that stuff.
I know they tried it with the Wii. Like, the Wii had a lot more Madden and had a lot more like third party and
specific games
AAA
too.
titles for it. I don't know that the Wii U really no one even bothers with it. You could make Wii U games without ever looking at that damn thing.
Right.
So, I mean, one of the best reasons why I like having the gamepad is for just sheer convenience. Because I don't have two TVs in the living room. Yeah. My wife can watch TV and I can play, you know, Mario Maker on the gamepad.
I know, but here, think about if it was on an iOS app or like the Smart Glass is or something, you know, that you could use it even just on your phone or on another thing to the point where you can even build levels on it. Mobile, at work, on your break, start tweaking a level. What's the point of still you're sitting in the room and you have to have this other peripheral?
I mean,
like, how sick would that be?
Flappy Bird was pretty much a Mario knockoff, where you were the bird and there's the tunnels or whatever that you're flying through or whatever. And that game sold like crazy. That dude was a millionaire.
Yes.
Like instantly.
So,
I've probably played Angry Birds more than I've played most of my
girlfriend
Xbox
still
One
plays
games.
Candy Crush. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, crushing candy. I'm like, okay. Mobile gaming, dude.
Yeah.
There's money there.
So, within the Wii or in the Nintendo discussion, how do they roll that out? You know, maybe we're skipping ahead, but we were going to talk about Nintendo's move into mobile and teasing. You know, like, oh, we got a game coming out. It's going to be a high profile character. It's going to be one of our stars or whatever. But I mean, is it going to be the Wii Fit trainer or something retarded? Like, and we're not gonna. They're gonna pull the wool over our eyes. I don't know.
Why is Nintendo trying to make me skinny? Like, Wii Fit trainer, Wii U thing, man, that's crazy.
I had a Wii Fit, but it was like just bacteria.
Oh, when that stuff came out, dude, everybody had that stuff. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm gonna lose weight with the Wii Fit because it's a video game and it's weight loss. I'm totally gonna do that. I tried it and I'm like, nope, not doing that. Because then you had to buy the balance board, then you had to buy the yoga mat that went with it and all that. No, not my thing, man. Just was not my thing.
So here, I don't know how much you guys know about what Nintendo's doing for mobile gaming, but the first mobile app that Nintendo is going to put out, I'm not sure about the release date. It's fairly soon, as early as like April, May. The first one's going to come out, but by 2017, they're going to have like 5 different games for the mobile devices. The first one that's coming out is called Miitomo.
Oh, jeez.
And Miitomo...
Oh, here we go.
...is going to be a social networking app that utilizes user-created Mii characters. And so the Tomo part of it refers to friend in Japanese. So it's like my friend. So nobody knows like a ton about what it is actually going to be.
I know what it's not. A Super Mario World or Super Mario 3 port on the iOS.
This is absolutely that. So the idea that is going to happen is you're going to be able to interact with other people without using like personal information and stuff like that. So,
and the Wii U has a similar. It's like the Wii U Facebook or whatever, where
like
you can see the comments that you've made and comments that people have made, and You can, there is. I don't know. Is there achievements or any sort of? I don't know what the hell any of it is. I never look at it.
Nintendo doesn't do achievements.
Not achievements, but maybe something for using the system. I don't know. Like,
so you can like
some kind of a rule
because there's not enough Twitters and Instagrams and Facebooks. Let's go ahead and get another one.
Yes.
Yeah. Good idea.
And I'm sure it'll be separate from the one that's actually on the system.
So it's also going to be used for their new Club Nintendo rewards program.
Okay.
So they discontinued Club Nintendo this past year for what it used to be was you bought their product and you got coins for it, and then you could use that to buy things from Nintendo. Depending on what level you were, you would get some sort of gift every year. I got a gift for 3 or 4 years, and it was normally like stuff you could not get anywhere else.
So that's pretty cool. Xbox has a rewards thing. I've looked at it a little bit, but it's mostly stupid unless you you get the elite modded controller or whatever, which I don't know how you get any of that. But if you could kind of see some progress and in a way you are locked into buying Nintendo games if you have the system. It's
right.
With this it's only like Microsoft, something that they specifically sponsor, not like a third party.
So they're gonna be used like the points that you're gonna gain from the new Club Nintendo system are gonna be used for things like digital games on the 3DS and the Wii U, wallpapers, in-game items, themes, like little trashy stuff like that. But then there's going to be, more substantial content,
right,
like being able to get a game for free just because you bought a couple of these other games or interacted with this Miitomo. You're going to gain reward points for just interacting with it. So it's going to what they're saying. Who is it? Nintendo's executive vice president of sales and marketing, who came up with Miitomo. He says it is a uniquely entertaining mobile game experience that only the company will be able to deliver. Using their Mii characters, fans will be able to interact with other users through reinvented communication in the form of refreshing gameplay.
That's something humanity's been looking for a long time. Another way to communicate. Nice job, Nintendo.
That's dope. I'm in.
In the form of refreshing gameplay. I don't know what any of that means.
No, and it's so weird, that this would be secretive. You know what I mean? Like if you're keeping, actually it's Metroid, and you're gonna earn shit to get free, Nintendo stuff. It's like, oh, cool, I'll play the shit out of Metroid. But it's like, well, here's this weird app that we're going to be really vague about that's going to have to do with Mii's, which are the lamest thing ever. And that's all you know now, and you're going to have to wait a couple months, and it's going to be an utter disappointment.
And somehow they can only prep so many copies of the electronic version of it or whatever. They're only going to sell 10 of them at first.
So, for players who would like to try Miitomo...
Can you get a the amiibo of your Mii character?
I don't know, but that's a great idea.
Specially ordered.
I would participate if I was going to get.
Are Mii characters that different though? There's 10 different faces.
No, they all look the same.
Yeah, man. I mean, chances are it's already been made.
Sure.
All right, so since we're talking about this,
okay.
Anyone who would like to go out and try Miitomo, you can pre-register by signing up for a new Nintendo account, or as early as February 17th.
Okay.
So just here shortly.
So you just have to have a Nintendo account by Nintendo.
So the registration process, you'll need an existing email address, social media account, or a Nintendo Network ID. Anyone who registers before Miitomo launches will receive, some sort of unnamed bonuses. I'm assuming...
An extra pair of shoes.
I mean, I assume it's just Mario handjobs.
Can we do Can we...
So,
can we do a channel account?
I mean,
if we use our channel email address to create a Nintendo account, that way if you're buying stuff and I'm buying stuff,
I think Rocket should put it on his phone.
Yeah. I guess maybe we could. Yeah.
I don't see why not. I mean, it's not I guess it'd be a unique Nintendo ID.
So anyone who signs up for Miitomo will be automatically granted a My Nintendo membership, which is going to be the replacement for the Club Nintendo Rewards program. So you'll already be signed up for all that stuff. And they are going to give you points through interacting with any Nintendo product, such as playing, around with the Miitomo app or playing Mario. And that's how you're going to gain the points to use for to buy, the in-game items and stuff like that. Also, they're talking about you can use your points as discount coupons when buying games for a lower price. That's something that I haven't seen before. What they're saying is that they're going to have 5 apps by March of 17. This app will be ideal for players that choose not to reveal details about themselves or talk directly to others.
A social app.
Who is in charge
not be
of
talking to other people?
Who is in charge of Nintendo's research and development? Like, what did you just say?
Oh man, that's
I have no idea.
How do you defend them?
None of that makes.
So in the next, what'd you say, year? 6 months?
In the next year.
4 more mobile games. So out of the 4, how many do you think are going to be legit games?
Oh, no, it'll be an expansion for Miyomo or whatever the hell he's talking about. It'll be multiple expansion, DLC packs or some shit like that. I just want to put this out there. Ateam is more than willing to come head up your research and development, Nintendo. Just get a hold of me. It's at Team Africa on Twitter. Just send me a DM or something like that, okay? At Team Africa.
I think there'll be a Mario, but I'm guessing it's going to be more like a Paper Mario, turn-based.
I don't think so.
It'll be Dr. Mario, and that'll be cool, because I like Dr. Mario, but it's not going to be what we want, man. Yeah. It's like, Nintendo is that girl that, like, you're like, hey, how's it going? And she's like, you can kind of look at me a little bit, but you're not going to get a touch it ever. That's what it is, man. Here, we're just going to give you another freaking me to decorate. You know what I mean? Like, how many times do I got to decorate the same me? How many times do I have to sign up for a reward program with Nintendo, too? Right. What is this one called?
Whoa, Nintendo? Whoa. You have no idea what you're talking about.
I know what I'm talking about. I've been there.
Club Nintendo ran for almost 30 years before being retired. It was one program that was exactly the same for almost 30 years.
It was like Nintendo Power or something, right?
No, Nintendo Power was a magazine.
Oh.
Which has also been retired.
Yeah. See, they shouldn't have got rid of that.
Legit. It was legit.
I mean, back in the day it was. It became pretty obsolete once the Internet of Things took over.
Well,
and you
everything
could look up
becomes
anything.
obsolete once
I don't know. Game Informer still sends crap to my house all the time.
Game Informer was garbage when they started.
Well, Game Informer still sends crap to my house.
So here's what I will tell you as far as releases for these dying systems that we have now.
I don't think it's a dying system. Who the hell really knows? I feel like it's. We'll kind of go through this, and then we're gonna take a.
Are we still talking about Nintendo?
Yeah, we are still talking about Nintendo.
Oh my god, Nintendo!
We're gonna finish up with the releases, and then we're gonna cut, and we'll see you next week with some Microsoft, PS4, and some miscellaneous sort of news.
So
yeah, next week will be the good week.
Yeah,
no,
it'll be
next week.
There won't be as much fighting.
Next week we will start off with talking about what I actually wanted to talk about as far as Nintendo goes, and that is the future of the entire company.
Yes,
because we did not talk one single second about the future of the company.
Well, we didn't hit on any of the rumors.
It's not just rumors. There's actual news about Nintendo.
All right, we'll get to that.
What, are they going to add Blu-ray finally? Oh, no. Man, go Nintendo.
Okay, you're done. So here's what I want to talk about.
You don't know what Betamax
all right, hold on.
is.
Sorry, man. Go ahead. We can take as much time as we want. I know there's a lot of stuff coming up, and as sidetracked as we're going to get, the minute that you say Twilight Princess, the roof is going to come off of this house. So...
Okay.
However you would like to proceed. The floor is yours.
Are you like telling me to tread carefully or what?
No, it's just gonna. I mean, it's just
that game has come out on the GameCube, has come out on the Wii, and is it coming out on the Wii U now too?
Well, go ahead, Tony. Or go ahead.
So the first bit of gaming news, and I think all of the releases that I'm going to talk about aside from maybe the last 2 or 3, are going to be Wii U.
Yes.
So there was a lot of speculation about them gen swapping the Legends of Zelda game that was slated to come out for the Wii U onto whatever it is that they're going to do next, the NX.
And unconfirmed, still, it's possible. You know.
So as far as Nintendo is concerned, it is pushed back to December of this year, 2015.
What year is this?
This is 16.
2016. It was originally supposed to come out in 2015.
We've gone back to the future.
So here's what happened. They pushed it back to better realize new possibilities in the game design.
And I think that's why immediately when they were saying, hey, we're going to pull this back and totally redo it, everybody was kind of like, oh, they're just going to put this out in a new system.
So here's what's different about this game versus any of the other ones that's come out so far. This is going to be the first game in the series. It's going to be a massive, interconnected, open world. So think about Legends of Zelda NES. You had each one of those tiles. Like if you were to screenshot each time, the camera panned and you went to a new tile,
yes.
You could print all those out, put them on the wall, and you would have one giant map open game, right?
Okay.
So they pretty much did that same exact thing for how many, every single game that they put out so far. They just changed it a little bit as far as like when you went to, what was it, like the fields in Ocarina of Time. That was one tile because they had more memory to play with, right?
Right.
So then you continue fast forwarding and they just start connecting.
Yeah, now you can fit that in a dude's house.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but here's the crazy part, and this is actual news from Nintendo.
This is from a reputable source?
Yes, it is from within the company that one of the areas in the new Legends of Zelda game is going to be the same size as all of the map space in Twilight Princess.
That's cool.
That's enormous.
Yeah. I mean, and is that counting, they're talking about inside dungeons and stuff too? All, the square footage of Twilight Princess? Or just
every time that you would push forward and his foot would move, each step that you could take in Twilight Princess will fit inside one of the zones for the new Zelda game.
Do they take into account the 35 times that I had to go around in circles in the dungeon?
No, so...
That would be, mind-blowing.
Is it an MMO?
No.
There's
I don't see at any point in time Zelda as a highly spiritual and single-player experience becoming an MMO.
So big, though.
That is a lot of space.
That's enormous. And if you could think...
but that's into the world of expansive side quests and stuff too, like you would have in a big single-player RPG.
Like Skyrim?
Exactly. So in that same exact... I can't remember if a press conference or interview or whatever it was. In the same exact thing, they were talking about, yes, it's going to be that big. There will be experiences for you in every single section of that game.
Yeah.
So make it 100 times bigger than Twilight Princess. Add in 100 times more stuff to do. And then whatever it is that they're talking about doing to better realize new possibilities in the game design. I don't know if you've seen any of the trailers or any of the very, very early footage of the game.
No.
But it looked amazing.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
Super, super soft graphics. Like that wispy, whitish, almost like dream type look to it. Not super bold or dark colors or anything like that, but it was
no gritty reboot.
No, but it was absolutely high definition. And we've always talked about big bosses in Zelda. This, I can promise you, will have what was that game where he fought all the gods and stuff? Because we're probably talking about bosses edging on that type of scale.
Yeah,
as far as just
epic,
absolutely massive game experience. And the thing that I'm excited about is that there's going to be new weapons.
Okay.
They always come out with something, you know, you didn't always have the hook shot.
Right.
You got the hook shot, it changed Zelda completely.
Yes.
It's going to have things like that in this new generation of Zelda.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I wish I blew him shit about having it at launch, and you know, it certainly wouldn't have been ready. It would have just been Twilight Princess again.
Right.
But I mean, it would have been nice to have it, and it would be nice to have it right now. I mean, it sounds super awesome.
Here's my concern, though. Twilight Princess was a GameCube title that was pushed back to the Wii.
It was on
both.
GameCube,
Right?
Yeah,
but
and then
it came out. Yeah,
created a Wii version of it.
So is it going to be the same thing? Is this going to be a Wii U title that's going to come out on the NX and then be already behind?
No.
When they mentioned about bringing it back and doing some upgrades, and they mentioned, well, it could be going to the NX if they're really wanting to upgrade the way the game runs and works. But they've already promised it on the Wii U, so I think there is some debate, and nobody really knows. We won't know until they make an announcement about the NX this next couple months or next year or whatever, what it's going to be, when it's going to come out, what it's going to be able to do, and then potentially, mention it. So I think I never played Twilight Princess on the GameCube, so I can't really compare. I played it on the Wii, and it was dope. Like I enjoyed
you did like that?
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I did beat it. It took a while, but it was fun. But I had not had the GameCube version of it, so having a Wii U version of this, and then, I mean, what if the NX has some really sweet peripheral that changes the way it's played and makes it into a totally new game the way the Wii did? It could be worth playing both times, and if they're gonna it's going to be 4K or something redonkulous, I'm playing that.
Well, they are talking about. I didn't want to talk about this.
Well,
this
yeah,
time.
all right, we'll go to NX tomorrow or whatever when we do this, because that'll be a whole thing.
Okay, so there's one last point that I wanted to throw to you guys about the Zelda game for the Wii U. There are a lot of rumors all over the place from really reputable game sites and things like that they're talking about. Nintendo's going to make a decision to make Link gender neutral.
Yes.
And
no dick?
Well, there was images of the female version of Link. I thought that was for a different game.
Well, what they're talking about is either bringing Link closer to the middle of the gender spectrum, or edging Link further into the female spectrum of gender, and referring to Link as a female.
Linkle.
Linkle.
That was the name that I saw of the female version of Link. I thought it was in a
He's not kidding. Linkle.
Linkle is the name.
That's right.
I don't know why Link couldn't just be a name for a girl too. It's a fantasy world.
Link is
a totally legitimate name for either one, but it was Linkle, and it is a blonde female, more not an effeminate male, but a straight up girl.
She sounds hot.
I mean,
Yeah.
Link has always been, through the generations, a very effeminate male.
Well,
And he was
because he's an elf.
Because he was 8 pixels, you don't know
Well,
what
yeah.
the hell it is.
Is that pixel
Well,
and dog?
one of the Zeldas, he had pink
hot.
hair, right? Didn't he have pink hair in Link to the Past?
No.
What was the pink part of his sprite? He has pink on his sprite.
Shield?
His face?
His face? You know what? I'll show them a picture of it, but
Okay.
you guys can look it up on the internet.
Google
I'm
it.
telling you, you guys keep talking. I'm just going to look it up.
But yeah, well, what was that for? Now we're just gonna sound uninformed. The Linkle thing, or was that just part of this conversation of well, Link could be a girl, or maybe make it a girl?
This game.
It was for that. Okay.
This game.
I was thinking that was for something else, not like Smash Brothers, but some Nintendo property involving those characters. I thought that was what it was for. But yeah, I don't. Why just Link? Why does it?
What is that? Is that pink hair?
No, it's his hat,
Ears, maybe?
right?
Is it a pink hat?
He's got pointy ears, ears.
Look at what I'm talking about.
His
that
hair-
that
his-
is like pink hair.
Yeah, that's sweet.
His hair does look pink.
I'm
Yeah,
telling
straight
you.
up pink. Well, I guess the blonde would have mixed in kind of goofy.
Maybe that's Linkle. And we just didn't know it.
Going through her punk emo phase.
Yeah.
She's definitely hot. Okay. So I'm down. Link is a girl. I mean, I play girls on.
Who cares?
games.
Yeah.
Well,
I
what,
don't care.
what does that mean for... Think of the philosophical ramifications of gender swapping one of the most recognizable characters in all of gaming history.
I think they should do that with more characters.
I don't see why not.
On a side note, the new Lego Avenger game,
Yeah?
3 openly gay characters that you can unlock.
I heard about that.
Yes.
Is
Two of
one of them
them-
Iceman?
2 of them are a couple.
Iceman, yeah, he's gay.
He's gay now.
So Hulking
Oh, Bobby Drake.
Yeah, Hulkling
Hulking.
and Wiccan.
and Wiccan are a couple.
Yes,
That
from
you
the
can
young
unlock.
Avengers.
So apparently you guys know more about this
Well,
Lego
I know
thing.
who the Young Avengers are.
Yeah, and I don't know anything about a Wiccan or anything like
So
that either.
when I
He-
saw...
he's like this magic. He's kind of like the Young Avengers version of Thor. He's not.
Oh,
he's
okay.
he's a mutant or something, I think, but he just dresses like kind of like Thorish, kind
It's
of
like a
witch.
gay Fabio.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then the Hulkling looked kind of like the Hulk, but it's because they were shapeshifter, so they could just shapeshift to look kind of like a Hulk.
Sure.
But yeah, they were both dudes, and they were happy in the Young Avengers together.
So why
But
is
yeah,
it...
Iceman, they just announced him a
Iceman's
couple
always
months
been my
back.
favorite X-Men. Like, I've always liked Iceman from, when I was little and all that stuff. And then to find out that he came out as gay, I'm fully supportive of him for that. That's
bro.
awesome.
Yeah.
So here's my issue with all of this gender swapping and gender fluidity.
This is America?
I don't need that stuff in my games. Like, it's great, whatever. So I feel like it's being pushed in because it's the hot topic right now.
I feel like we just lost half of our audience just now.
I'm not
this,
saying
this
that...
has been going on for years, dude. Man, Metroid or
Right.
Samus. I mean, that was
That
like,
was,
it
like,
was like
huge.
this guy's a dude, this guy's a dude, this guy's a dude. It's a girl.
It's a hot girl.
Yeah, I
that's
mean, this
party
isn't
on.
any
Guess
like
what?
hot topic.
That turned probably that whole franchise into like a bigger deal than it would have ever been.
Oh,
It was just
yeah.
some fucking robot guy, Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Link thing is weird because it is like this is a character that's been around for 30 years. I just think like that you could sort of swap it out and not change anything about the character of the game or anything. And it
I mean,
wouldn't
you can
matter.
pick, right? You can pick the gender, or is it definitely going to be a
No,
woman?
No,
it's
I don't
going
know.
to be one way or the other. It's not... Or it's going to be neutral in the middle.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the cartoon images of the girl was girl.
But the entire premise of Zelda was just like Mario. Like what?
Yeah, but Mario has more of a defined timeline versus like Zelda's
Yeah.
timeline is completely jacked up.
Every single game,
Parallel universes and stuff.
Zelda...
super in the future or super in the past
Yeah.
or super on another
I
planet.
was a girl on another planet or something like that, you know?
So Zelda gets kidnapped by Ganon. Link trains and goes on a quest to defeat Ganon and recover Zelda.
Yeah.
What does that sound like?
It was like Mario.
Peach gets taken by Bowser.
Every story ever told.
Yeah.
I mean...
That's everything.
But I mean, it could be.
So-
It could. We never see Link and Zelda like get busy. Like, so it could just be like that's her sister or that's her friend or you know what I mean. Like, it doesn't even have to be like saving the princess to go bang her. With
So-
Does she get a kiss?
Way
I don't know if
worse.
she gets a kiss.
I don't
So
know.
let me get this straight. Linkle, the
Yeah.
female version of Link, is gonna go save her sorority sister from
Yeah.
Ganon.
Yeah.
Which is the evil frat guy.
Date rapist. Yeah.
Date rapist, yeah.
Oh.
This is all this date. The next Zelda takes place at like Indiana University.
Hi. Oh my God, Hyrule and IU.
Yeah,
All
Hyrule IU.
All right, so,
So we'll get it out of the way real quick, though. To answer your question, 18, they are in the next couple months releasing the Twilight Princess
Jesus.
HD on the Wii U, and we don't have to talk about it because that speaks.
it's an
volumes.
HD remaster of 2006's Twilight Princess.
Correct.
Slated to release March 10th, and it has updated visuals and amiibo functionality.
Oh, good. So they can sell more amiibos. I'm sorry, Nintendo. You guys just are ridiculous with this stuff, man.
Yeah.
I thought Microsoft was greedy when they said, "We're not going to let you share games anymore. One copy, one DRM copy for every Xbox, and that kind of stuff. And it always has to be connected to the internet just to make sure you're not pirating anything either. Microsoft at least backtracked on that. Nintendo just keeps going forward with this nonsense.
I mean, HD remakes in general are kind of like, meh.
Everybody does it. Everybody does
now,
it. That's fine.
You go Master Chief Collection. Here's all the Halos. It's this giant trash fire.
Yeah.
But here's all what it is. The Uncharted Collection, they're doing the first 3 Uncharted all in one big HD remake.
The Last of Us.
I guarantee they're going to do the same shit on Mass Effect before Mass Effect Andromeda comes out. Here's a big
Well,
package.
they've already done that backwards compatibility, haven't they?
Okay.
It may be. But so if you were going to do Zelda remake, and here you go, here's the entire catalog of fucking Zelda games.
No.
Like, that would be gangster.
Not
HD,
Gears of War, too.
not
They're doing it like
Gears
that.
of War.
Yeah.
Not necessarily an HD remake of the Link's Adventure or whatever. Like, that's ridiculous.
Link's Adventure.
Which game is in Link's Adventure?
What the hell was
what
Link's
was
Adventure?
Legend of Zelda 2, the side-scrolling one?
The Adventure of Link.
The Adventure of Link.
Oh,
Yeah.
God forbid I said Link's Adventure about some stupid game.
I don't know. I was super confused. Hey, you're talking to gamers, Dan. All right. You
So
gotta
anyway,
know your Zeldas.
So, but like if obviously you play it on the virtual console and all that, but you can play all the, like you said, backwards compatibility. But if you're gonna release something to go, here you go, this is a big anniversary collection prior to releasing.
Get you
this.
hyped up.
It's not an anniversary
HD.
collection, though. It's let's call
No,
it.
identical game.
No, it's
So
not
it's
going to
With
be.
the Amiibo support.
It's worse.
That's
than
the
an
problem.
anniversary
You
collection.
guys don't know enough about what's going on to speak intelligently.
I never
about
said
it.
that
I'm
we were-
sorry.
This is the internet, bro.
Yeah. First of all, I never once said I was informed.
So, when they're going to re-release Twilight Princess, yes,
You have to say re-re.
Re-release.
the re-release
There you
where
go.
all of the swords are replaced by walkie-talkies. inside the box for Twilight Princess, you're gonna get Wolf Link. You remember Wolf Link, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Wolf Link will have some sort of functionality.
Am I going to be able to use it on Super Mario Maker?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Maybe that's cool.
And, I would assume most of these amiibos that are coming out now are backwards compatible with almost every other game that they have out. There's a couple other things I want to talk about as far as releases later, which I'm super excited for amiibos to be involved in, because they're changing the way that the amiibos interact with their games.
Okay.
And the ones that they already have are going to have new uses going forward. So the things like the Wolf Link and stuff like that, you're going to be able to use in Smash Brothers. And
Right.
there's a Pokemon fighting game that's coming out that I want to talk about later. But they're talking about every amiibo that's out will function with that as well. So
That's cool.
I don't know, all the specifics about how Twilight Princess is going to interact with the amiibos, but I can tell you this: they are going to put out a Ganon amiibo, and I think they're going to re-release another Zelda amiibo or something like that. I'm sure. When you use Ganon will multiply the damage that you take in the entire game by 2. So it doesn't just do nothing.
Pay to play.
But
No, it's
that
not
would be
pay to
worse.
play.
You're
It
taking
makes it harder.
Oh, I got you.
Because
It's
think
like
about
turning on a skull. Zelda skulls.
You have already played it on the GameCube, right? Or
No,
no, you
Wii.
didn't play it on the GameCube. You played it on the Wii.
Correct.
I've played it on the GameCube, and then right after that, they released it on the Wii. I tried that out. It was pretty much the same game with tacked-on Wii controls.
Right.
It was still fun. It was kind of a lot harder with using the bow and arrow and stuff like that, but it was still fun. I will be able to go back through the Wii U version, and I'm sure it's going to be just as fun as when I played it over there. But once I get through it for that first time, what's my incentive to keep going to play that game? So here's what they're doing.
True.
There's going to be... Did you ever play I want to say they're called the Master Quest for Ocarina of Time?
No.
So there was a set of discs that they put out for... No, what was it? It was the one on the GameCube.
Wind Waker?
No, I think it was Ocarina of Time Master Quest on the GameCube.
Okay.
So they've done the same exact thing for pretty much every single one that they've done.
Yeah.
But you could go back through the dungeons in the game in a different order. And it changed the game fundamentally to where it was the same content, but it was different. So what they're doing, I'm pretty sure with Twilight Princess is that they're rearranging dungeons and changing, like flip-flopping the way that things work. So it's different puzzles, and it's going to be harder. So it's not just a rehash and like better textures. They're changing how the game functions. So there's also going to be a hero mode where you already take 2 times more damage and there's more enemies, and it's like going back through on hardcore. So that's cool because they don't generally do that kind of stuff with Nintendo IP. So I'm interested to see how the Twilight Princess is going to work out. I'm going to go ahead and get it, and we'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure that's all we have time for.
Yeah, we're like an hour and a half.
So no more ranting about Nintendo for a minute.
No,
Hey.
we'll pick back up. We'll try to get through the NX and that, and a couple of these other games coming up, because I think some of them probably will end up being NX games.
Right.
And then we'll talk about some of the betas on the Xbox, because I'm in the same boat, man. It's dead to me now lately, the Xbox One, but.
Because you have Mario Maker. That's not fair.
True.
All right, so like Dan said, we'll pick back up next time. We'll finish up Nintendo section, then we'll move on to like Xbox and PC and mobile gaming and all that stuff.
Interesting stuff, I promise.
Yeah, the adult content.
Yeah.
Too hot for TV.
Too hot for TV.
Well, thanks for giving me the kids episode.
Yeah.
All right, for Trash Mob, I'm Rocket.
Dan Vader.
And the A-Team.
This is Trash Talk.